time for another tournament in a tea break. It's Ros Satar here.
And George Bellshaw.
And we are at the end of, God, it's only day 3. It feels like we've been here forever.
Well, it's going pretty quickly, isn't it?
Well, actually, surprisingly so. I mean, how many times were we here till like the wee small hours of the morning last time around?
I was going to say, tonight it's absolutely chilling. What is it, 10?
I know, not even 10.
Amazing.
The reason why we're here, so we're going so early, is because today the singles matches were, quite frankly, a bit of a whitewash.
Yeah, it was...
I mean, how do you even describe
Anderson
and Nishikori?
Anderson was the best I've ever seen him play. He was insanely good today. Nishikori
was insanely bad.
Yeah, but
you had to feel for him. Actually, there was one stage where his face, I think it was like I think it was 4-love down in the second. His face was just, nothing was working.
Yeah.
No matter what he tried to do, the ball either floated out or was magnetically drawn to the net, or no matter what he tried to do, it was just a mess. I mean, it was the perfect match for Anderson, although it was interesting to hear him say, sometimes it can actually go the other way. He let Nishikori get a game and felt that was maybe the start of a dip.
Well, the thing I loved about Anderson's performance today, obviously he's always such a good server. I think his returns improved massively, but it's just the energy he's got on court these days, the movement, the footwork.
Well, it's self-belief, isn't it?
The way he takes every ball on, he goes for it, he doesn't beat himself up if he misses it. There's this process.
Yeah.
I know people dig out players who go and reach for the towel. I have none of it. It's nonsense people who go after it. Kevin Anderson's the ultimate example of, if you get in the right routine, get it perfect in your head, don't stray from it, treat every ball the same.
Yeah.
You can go really far, and there are going to be days where he can't find that forehand and it sails long. I watched him in Madrid and thought, bloody hell, this guy's annoying when he doesn't change the way he plays, but when it clicks perfectly like he did today, he's some force, and he was absolutely fantastic.
So, after that little announcement that we... this is what happens, guys. We tend to sort of sit here and wait for the magical words of X, Y or Z is coming into press now, and then you've never seen so many people shift in their life. Anyway, Roger Federer has just been in to press. I don't know, kind of a weird one, wasn't it, really? I mean, he seemed to indicate that the cancellation of the practice was more to sort his head out.
As I said.
Which is what you said. And then, predictably, a lot was made of the comments that that Julian Benneteau had made. Mm-hmm. Turns out that it was made on French radio a week ago.
Yeah, I think it was made at the end of last week, so I think that's a bit of a stretch. I think it was into the weekend. I think. That's what I was aware. I became aware of it over the weekend, but I'm sure...
Well, much like Federer, I can't remember what day it is either. So, but interesting. Especially like the line of sometimes I get help, sometimes I don't.
Yeah, look, I mean, I don't particularly find the questions about scheduling the most interesting in all the things I read from Benneteau. I mean, scheduling is such a topic that just comes up at every single event, all the time. He deserves treatment like that.
Yeah, and also, not to be funny, but tournaments aren't there to make up the numbers. They're there to get bums on seats and get people watching, marquee matches.
Yeah.
Is Benneteau seriously peeved that he never got onto centre court?
And there's obviously there's broadcasters, fans.
Yeah.
All sorts of things that me and Federer would get preferential treatment, but there is interesting stuff about the relationship between Federer and other members of tournaments that I think is more interesting and of more conflict of interesting. Right on towards the end of the week, I'm going to look at that a bit. But I think scheduling is a whole point. All the top guys make requests at every tournament. That's nothing new. We've known that for a long time.
How many times does Nadal ask for sessions so that you can go watch football?
Yeah, same. Djokovic does the same thing. Federer probably gets placed, as he was kind of saying, in Asia, he gets placed on a lot of matches he doesn't want to be because that's the kind of prime time slot. So I guess at some tournaments it suits him, at others it doesn't. of course he's going to have a lot of influence. It's Roger Federer.
Yeah.
You know, these guys don't want to annoy him. You know, but there's other instances. Like there was that Paris Masters interview last week about where the former tournament director kind of said they ripped up the carpet in Paris simply because Federer said he wasn't going to come back, and they did that. Now that to me is more worrying. Like that's changing an entire tournament to suit one player, and you had this kind of ex-director almost boasting that he'd helped Federer win the Paris Masters. I mean, that's odd. That's not good enough.
No. That's.
But scheduling itself, I mean, come on. Who gives a rat's ass anyway? To be honest, it's always controversial.
No, I agree. I mean, it was quite funny. Did you see Ben Rothenberg's tweet where Craig Tiley had posted a long, convoluted reason for all the things that we just said? And I love the fact that Ben just went too long, didn't read. Yeah, and
yeah, pretty much.
I mean, that's basically it. But
and you know. Isner's comments yesterday, which were quite similar to his own capitalistic political beliefs. Tennis is a capitalistic system. That's the bottom line about this. If you want to live in a socialism tennis world, then what we're going to have to do is draw lots at every single event, and we'll have Federer out on court 18 occasionally when he's playing, completely Mr. Nobody somewhere else. And but then you have people paying for centre court tickets and seeing. I don't know, I'm trying to think of someone really
random,
like Benetto.
Doesn't that suggest?
Benetto versus Sock on centre court. If you do it that randomly, there's got to be some sort of order. There's got to be some sort of ranking, and Federer's going to be favoured.
Yeah, and this only tends to come really to light during slams as well, where you've got a lot of big names, quite often going deep into the draws that are vying for that top spot.
Yeah, and. There have been other examples that have not involved Federer. You had Caroline Wozniacki slamming the US Open for putting Maria Sharapova, who'd just come back from a doping ban on centre court, and her out in the sticks. You had Djokovic moaning that Federer and Nadal were getting preferential treatment. Federer gets bumped to court 1 and then loses. Now you might say, okay, well, if Federer was bumped to court 1 more often, he might not have 8 Wimbledon titles, and that maybe is an advantage.
That's true.
But he has.
But I mean, we're just as bad.
Well.
I mean, we Wimbledon will do its utmost to make sure that Andy has, of course they
Benetto knows in France. I mean, the amount of times I've had to watch Tsonga on centre court, or Monfils, or whatever, on Szczęsny or whatever, when Djokovic is pushed out to Longland, or even Nadal's pushed out there,
Is Benetto miffed that he never made it onto Chatrier or something? Anyway.
I'm sure he did, but I don't know.
Yeah, in the millions of years that he played. But anyway, the crux of the matter is, Roger is in a position where he could still go through, but there's a lot of variables on his scenario.
Yeah. Which I don't have in front of me.
Which
it was just handed out.
Yeah, I do have it.
A minute ago.
Sound effects for radio. There we go.
Okay, so very quickly, because I had this kind of rattled in my head how good we want this. Federer wins in 2. And team wins, or Federer wins and team wins, Federer's through top of the group. Yeah. That's the good scenario for him. Anderson is through if he wins, obviously.
Yep.
Anderson is pretty much through regardless. The only scenario he's out, potentially, is if Federer wins in 2 and Nishikori wins in 2. But he would still need something like Federer to thump him love and 1 and Nishikori to win love and 1.
Yeah,
or something. It would need a massive swing.
Exactly, because his result over Nishikori has all but guaranteed him at least second place, I would say, in that scenario. Yeah.
Now, team can go through, remarkably.
Where?
I think here. So if Anderson wins and team wins in 2, and again, we're talking heavy thumping wins, then Mr. Team can sneak in there.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right, actually.
And then you've got this kind of mixed patch of Nishikori and Federer both winning, which seems probably the most likely because it's going to be very annoying for us to actually have to work out. Yeah. There's this sign where we're all kind of going to have to work out these games. But even so, it's really tough to split Nishikori and Federer from this position. So if it comes down to the games percentage, Nishikori's in trouble.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
But if it doesn't come down to that, then I think Federer is still in trouble quite a lot, really.
But it is going to come down to game percentage, though.
Not if they both win in 3. It's only in that one
It's
scenario.
in that one scenario, but
winning in 2.
okay.
But I'm saying everywhere else, Federer's got a bit of a problem.
Yeah.
So we'll see. It's
So
not done by any means.
So we've got to get all this again for tomorrow.
Federer in 2 should help him, just to clarify that. Obviously.
Do you know what? I don't even know he's playing at this rate now. Oh,
Anderson.
Yeah.
Which is no guarantee.
No, well, not in the way that Anderson's been playing, to be honest with you. Federer in 2, I think, is going to be unlikely. Federer in 3, possibly, if he brings his best game to the table, and if Anderson has a shockingly bad day.
I'd say the one good thing for Roger Federer, at least, is he knows the result he's going to have had before him.
Yeah.
Which is a bit of an advantage in terms of working out what you need and stuff.
Yeah.
Not that would change his performance per se, but it might take a bit of the pressure off if he sees team winning 3, for example, off the top of my head. Yeah. So
let's look to tomorrow's matches. A bit of consternation that on talk of scheduling that Djokovic has got the afternoon slot.
Well, again, on the talk of scheduling, the obvious reason for this is they put the winners' match on today at lunchtime. They put the winners' match on tomorrow at lunchtime. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Now, you might say BBC have got the afternoon matches because they were hoping Federer was going to win and Djokovic was going to win.
Yeah.
Federer didn't win, so that's his fault. But they like to do typically at least one Federer and Djokovic match in the day, and Federer ruined his chance of a day match, really. So. Tough. I think that's his own problem. Not that he's complaining, but anyone who is complaining about a conspiracy theory, no.
Djokovic and Zverev.
Yes, should be Djokovic to win.
Yeah, I think Djokovic in probably 2. I mean, if Zverev starts the way that he did against Cilic, he's in a world of pain because I don't think Djokovic is going to be hanging around.
No, and I watched Zverev and Djokovic in Shanghai, was it? And that was a relentless beatdown by Djokovic. I mean, Zverev had obviously beaten him in the Rome final back in 2017, and we were all thinking, "Ooh, this is a chance." It's both guys. It might be a bit nervy for Novak to come out, get revenge, blah blah blah. Zverev played like 2 good games at the start of the match, and then it was just the Novak train rolling straight through. His head went, and I think he learnt that day. He thought Zverev, Roger and Rafa are the only 2 good guys on tour, and he learnt that day. Novak Djokovic is just as good as those guys, so forget it.
Yeah. So I think both of us are saying Djokovic in 2.
I am, yes.
I can't see it as anything other than Djokovic in 2, to be honest.
But I hope it's a good match, because it would be nice to see at least one good match. And the daytime ones, I'm happier to go to 3 than the nighttime ones.
Yeah, amen, brother. And the second, which is...
Isn't Cilic. I'm backing Big Johnny I.
Are you really? I'm backing Cilic to actually win his first live match. God, that sounds awful. I actually had to go back and check. But yeah, his only win was after he'd lost 2, and it was a dead rubber.
I want Isner to win for the sake of Isner playing Zverev in a shootout. That's my reasoning. I think that'll be fun. In terms of the last day drama, whereas if Cilic wins, he's going to play Djokovic. Zverev will play Isner, who...
Well, no, because... Well, those are the people that are left to play.
Yeah, I know. I'm not saying this is going to change, but I'm just saying Cilic will lose to Djokovic if he wins, and then it's boring.
No, that's true.
Whereas, Zverev would have to play Isner with both on one win, and that'd be quite fun.
Yeah.
I think. But maybe that's just me.
I'm going to back Cilic, I think. I just think...
I'm never backing him again after the other day.
I just think his time has come.
Cool.
But then we touched on this the other day, though. I wonder how much, as the week goes on, I wonder how much Davis Cup is actually beginning to weigh on his mind.
Yeah, I mean, it's another...
Because he was a relieved bunny last time around when...
I'd like to think Marin is here to try and do his best. I think he played pretty well the other day, on the whole, apart from putting it to bed in those sets. Like, he had his good moments. It seems more of a mental
I think this one
problem.
I have an awful feeling though that this one might be a 3-setter in the evening because it's just going to go to 3 tie-break sets.
Very possibly.
6-4, 7-5, that kind of thing.
I certainly don't see too many breaks to serve.
No. Well, we shall see, and then we'll have another round of guess the scenario. But anyway, as always, you've been listening to Ros Satar
And George Bellshaw.
Thank you for listening. Bye bye.